I had only 10 months when I was discovered with leukemia. So I remember more is what my family tell me, because we usually say that the diagnosis of a cancer not only affects the child or the young person, but also all the family.
Hello everyone, welcome back to MANO Beyond Cancer. I am Carmen Monge, and this is a space dedicated to all people with a lived cancer experience. In here, we share our experiences and we learn about this journey called life. Today we are with Tiago Costa. He is a cancer survivor from Portugal. Hi Tiago.
Hello, Carmen.
Who are you? What are you passionate about right now? And what is your favorite food?
So I'm Tiago. I'm from Portugal. I have 31 years old. I am a long-time childhood cancer survivor. I'm passionate about not only the patient advocacy that I recent years I've been doing it, but as a professional as well. But also I'm passionate about football and also to travel. My favorite food is I think everything that has seafood, especially pasta with seafood.
How was to have cancer in Portugal? Or what do you remember?
I had my diagnosis very early in my life, so I had only 10 months when I was discovered with leukemia. So I remember more is what my family tell me, because we usually say, also here in the patient organization that I work is Acreditar in Portugal, we say that the diagnosis of a cancer not only affects the child or the young person, but also all the family. So I think it was what happened to me, because I fortunately still live near Lisbon, where the main hospital center to treat cancer. So in terms of location was easy, but we know that for some families are not, because there are only 4 national cancer centers and clinics for treating cancer in Portugal. So sometimes people are from the countryside or from the south or more on the north, and they have to get to the centers. And from there is here an economic burden for these families. Fortunately, I didn't have this. Only, okay, my mother has to stay with me while my father was working. That was also an economic burden, because only my father was working at that time. I think we have a good national system public treating the oncological disease. Still, we have 400 new cases as a childhood cancer in Portugal every year. So we are like 1 or 2% of all cancers, but we have to take care of them. Of course, we have some challenges as well. Not everything is perfect, but I think it's on a good way.
How old were you when your parents told you that you had cancer?
I don't know exactly, but when I figure out that was like cancer or a bad disease that I had in the past, was more on the follow-up phase, because I was doing my first years at school and I had to skip classes to go to the hospital to some follow-up consultation that the other colleagues didn't. So I started to question what I had in the past, because the others didn't go to the doctor so many times as me. But fortunately, it was more like a follow-up phase. And yeah, and then since then I started to get more involved and to get to know more about the disease. But I think it was like some years later when I was already in school. Yeah.
How can you describe cancer survivors?
So basically, I started to participate in some activities, like more playful activities. And I don't think at that time, because I was also little and everything, and the topic of survivorship was not very talked at that point, I think. But it was more playful activity. So I describe it as like a second family, because for many of them, of these children and young people that came to these activities of our parents' organization, during the treatment and after the treatment, maybe they have some difficulty getting back to school or to getting back to the old friends. They find that in these people, maybe they can rely on, because they are together, and wherever they talk, it's a big a community that they are safe. Yeah.
do you think that since you had cancer when you were a baby, you developed a superpower that gave you this experience?
I started to get more involved as a volunteer and then now as a collaborator. But I don't think that was a superpower.
How do you feel about working in this environment?
I work here since I think 5 years now ago. I don't remember too much of the disease. So for me, I think it was easy to get involved. And also because there was still a little bit connection to the disease, of course.
So what is the dumbest thing or stupidest thing someone have ever told you about having cancer?
I don't know if it was specific to me, but what I heard a lot also from survivors, but I think it's in general from the common sense and from the community in general, I think is sometimes that there is still the cancer stigma and people that are not so much aware of what is the disease. It could be treated. There are treatments for cancer, and people that are survivors, patients that are also with good quality of life during the treatment, and they assume that there is no cure.
What changes would you like to see in your community that will support cancer survivors?
The first thing I think that we uh, not a change, but a thing that can be continue for a long time is the relationship and engagement of patients and survivors, caregivers with the patient organizations and of course with the hospitals, clinic for us to be like on the same page, to realize what is happening that is not so good, that we can change, that we can together overcome as well. And then, of course, if we are on the same page and if we have this feedback from families, from survivors and patients as well, we can, as a patient organizations, as a patient advocates, we can go and do like some, I don't know, advocacy campaigns to disseminate the word, the healthcare entities as well, but also the politicians, so the decision makers, so that we can go further with our voice and that we are stronger together, of course, to have more information about it, about the late effects, more support also on the mental health and psychosocial support, and also to have more attention to the education and career support.
I was wondering, do you talk a lot with your parents about this? How do you feel about being a childhood cancer survivor?
Yes, so I don't think we talk a lot about the disease specifically, but we do it when I do some consultations, when I do blood analysis every year, for example, as a routine exams. But I think the most important, it is because I had it very early, and then I started also to be more engaged with the childhood cancer community. So the topic is very normal in the conversation. So it's not a taboo anymore. It's very normal.
Thank you, Tiago, so much for the interview.
Thank you very much.
Do you like this video? Well, give us a thumbs up and subscribe and share it with others. Thank you. Bye-bye.